And that's why, I mean, I don't mean to speak for you and I, but that's why we do what we do. I fear standing before the Lord and giving an account for the things that I failed to do.
I do too. I have to do this. I always have. The moment I heard the Roe v. Wade, Doe v. Bolton, and realized that this country, which stands for so much good, was going to allow a whole class of people to be killed under the law. It just was such an outrage, such an atrocity, such a violation of what this country stands for. I had to go decide full-time.
How long after Roe versus Wade did you become a full-time pro-life activist?
Well, just about immediately. Because
Wow.
First of all, I started writing the newspapers, editorial, writing about how bad it was, and getting printed. And then I started reading, studying everything about abortion. And I was working as an account executive for a public relations firm in Chicago. But I lost total interest in my various projects and accounts. I had Marlite Paneling, Libya Cheese, Shakespeare, Fishing, Tackle. I had 15 accounts.
Wow.
And I did a lot of traveling and
You had a good job.
I had a good job. I had a beautiful office up on the skyscraper in Chicago overlooking the Chicago River. They let me decorate my office any way I wanted. I had 3 floors, and
So were you in your 40s at that point?
yeah,
Unbelievable.
and I was quite happy,
Unbelievable.
quite happy. But I read Roe v. Wade, I read Doe v. Bolton, and that was it. So I started reading everything I could find, and there was the Illinois Right to Life Committee was in existence already, and they were a few blocks from my office, so at noon I would go down there and read everything I could find and take their literature. And so finally my boss, who was a Notre Dame grad, Paul, he called me in one day and he said, "Joe, I think you're more interested in the abortion issue than you are in your clients and your accounts." I said, "Well, why not?" He said, "I'll tell you what we'll do. You should go full-time in pro-life." Well, nobody had heard of anything like that, but he said, "I think you should spend full-time on this, and we will keep you on until your daughter is born," because my little Kathy was in the womb, and she was to be born in May, and May had wonderful insurance, prenatal insurance.
So this is May of '73, right
Yeah.
after Roe versus
Yeah.
Wade. Wow.
He says, "You can stay on the payroll, but you don't have to work. We'll keep you on the insurance policy."
Thank you, God. What a gift.
Yeah, what a gift. And so, fortunately, Kathy came on May 31st, 1973.
Every week of payroll.
Yeah, the very last day of the payroll, and the insurance. And then when she was born, then I went full-time. I had the summer, and I set up my office in my home, and I called the Chicago office for pro-life publicity, because I thought publicity, let people know. And we started getting the life and death and passing out the literature, getting on radio shows, going out with the pictures, and just doing everything we could to make people understand what had happened. We put up posters. We'd go out at night on the train stations. Planned Parenthood had abortion ads. We would go out and paint them out. I remember we'd come home in the middle of the night covered with black and white paint, because we'd covered the black with white and the white with black.
Sorry, Planned Parenthood, the statute of limitations.
Yeah.
Na boo-hoo.
Yeah, we went to every station. We'd get in those days you'd get a transfer and they would just punch it. And these transfers, there was no room for punching a hole anymore. We'd stop at every train station. We would cross the tracks. We had a guy we called the Mountain Goat. He would go over the third rail.
Oh my goodness.
And paint out the Planned Parenthood phone numbers on at the train stations, and other things. We put up billboards. We found the side of a building that said abortion and gave a phone number. I went in and saw the guy in the building. I said, "I want the side of the building. Your advertising abortion. And he said, oh, gee, the guy hadn't paid me for a long time. You can have it. So we got the ladders out and we changed abortion into adoption, which is easy to do. You just change a couple of letters. And the phone number was almost the same. The adoption number was very similar to the abortion number. So we put our ladders up there and changed abortion and the phone number to adoption and the phone number. And did things like that all the time. Anything we could think of that
would get the message
our
out.
Message out. And let people know there was a resistance to abortion.